2007 Mini Cooper base model. So I got this aftermarket aluminum valve cover, and once I installed it, I noticed that I had an issue with the crankcase breather hose connecting to this port that leads to the PCV valve. Once I realized I had that situation, I didn't have time to really fix it, so I threw a hose clamp around it to hold it in place. And I wouldn't recommend that because you're gonna have idling issues, and yeah. So I tried to return it, I tried to get them to replace it, they would not do anything. So yesterday I had a little bit of time to mess with it. I had a good friend of mine at the shop. He has a small Dremel, and it's like a Dremel kit. It comes with small bits, and he had a cutting blade that was like the size of a quarter, and that is what I had most luck with. So I put that on the Dremel, and if you get a mirror with a flashlight, you're gonna notice that the defects lie underneath this port, right underneath it. So I used the Dremel and the cutting blade, and I cleaned everything underneath this port. I made it nice and smooth, and you want to take your time. You want to make sure you take your time, don't rush this. So once I got the bottom cleaned up underneath the port, then I started focusing on the circle, the front circle of this port. I took it down a little bit. It's hard to see, but if you look at it, you can kind of use it as reference. So that right there is about where it's at now. I took it down a little bit, and I did that on the complete circle. So the entire circle, I shaved it down just a little bit, cleaned it up, and the next thing that I did was the gap here between this and this, the one right there in the middle, I evened it out and cleaned it as well because there was defects on that. Same thing on the very bottom gap, that little gap. I cleaned it up, evened it out. Once I did that, I tried to connect the hose, and still it would not connect. So at that point, what I did was right here where this clip bites on the back, on the aluminum, I used that cutting blade, and I shaved it down towards my way. And on the bottom one, oh yeah, and on the top, I didn't shave down like a whole lot, just a tiny bit. I shaved it down, and you don't want to be too aggressive with the cutting blade and cut through the aluminum going down. So more or less try to focus on coming in. So once I got the top part, I adjusted and I tried the hose, and it clipped on the top, but I still wasn't having any luck with it clipping on the bottom. But when I would look down there, I was literally like a couple thousandths off, so I knew that I didn't need much. You're not going to be able to get a die grinder or a cutting blade underneath this because of the angle, and plus you have all this here. So what I used was a Bastard File, and on the bottom I just shaved back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just enough to where the bottom would clip too, because I wasn't having issue with clearance on the bottom. It was more so the top that I was having issues with. So you don't really have to take much down on this bottom part of the aluminum. And yeah, you want to cut like a little piece of a rag, tuck it inside of this port, and same thing with the hose. If you need to, zip tie it down out of the way and put it on the bottom. Make sure you have like a towel over it so you're not getting shards and metal shavings inside of here or here. But anyways, as long as those things are protected, you're pretty much free to cut and shave as you go. But yeah, that is it. So if you look, it's nice and even and flush. Nice and even and flush and completely mated and sealed. And it's like that all the way around. So that's what you're going for. More or less just take your time. But yeah, it's on there good. It's not coming off, so no more hose clamp.